Hello, I'm Robert Thompson. Welcome to Patty and Robert's YouTube channel, where we talk about things that Upwork users and freelancers need to know. Today, we're going to talk about Upwork time tracking tools and how you use them. Let me first get rid of my picture here. Now, why does time tracking matter? Well, it's used by Upwork to calculate the billing for hourly contracts. So this is how you get paid. It documents your work to the clients and Upwork so they can see that you are working and doing their job. And it's required for hourly payment protection. So if you have an hourly contract and you use the automated tracker, you are guaranteed to get paid. So how do you track time? Upwork has a desktop app that does the tracking for you. It's available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And it does time logging, so it logs when you're working. It takes screenshots periodically of the work that you're doing. It records your activity levels, so whether you're using the mouse, whether you're using the keyboard, and it also allows you to add memos that explain what's going on. So it's all there in one place. So some things you should think about with time tracking. Um, Basically, when should you use it? Well, if you're on an hourly contract, you should use it all the time and strongly recommend it. Um, Manual entry must be approved by the client. The client can decline to approve any hours. So you lose a lot of protection if you don't use the automated app. Um, and just so you know, you can use it on a fixed price contract. And a lot of people like to do that so that they can upgrade their estimates and see how much time they actually spent compared to what they estimated. But you've got to know that the client is going to see everything you get. And so that can be a problem. Um, Understand client expectations. Some clients are sticklers about the documentation, others don't care at all. So one client may require that you provide memos for the time that you're working, explaining what you were doing. Some clients even go so far as to create project activity tags. So they will have tags related to different part of the project, and you can select the tag that goes with the work that you're doing at that time. Um, you need to also understand the client expectations on manual time. I'll go into a little more detail about, why you might need to do manual time, but it's important to understand the client's attitude towards that and whether that's going to be a problem. So, just getting started, how do you set up the app? You simply download it from the Upwork site. You log in using your Upwork login, and then you can adjust the preferences. There are a number of preferences, including when you get notifications, some tweaks on the screenshots and things like that. Most people use the defaults, but a client may specifically ask you to do something different on your settings. So how do you start tracking your time? First, you go and select the contract you're working on. Make sure you get the right one, and then click Start when you are working, and stop whenever you are done or paused. And the app will record your activity every 10 minutes while you're in the active mode. And that means it's going to take screenshots and it's going to monitor your activity levels, things like keyboard usage and mouse usage. It also allows you to add task-specific memos so you can explain to the client why you did something or if something unusual happened or just what you were working on at the time. Now, as I said, it takes screenshots, and the tracker will do that every 10 minutes, no matter what you're doing. and they show whatever is on the screen at that moment. So if you start working on something else or somebody sends you a joke, that's what the client will see. And remember, if you have multiple screens, all the screens will be captured. So it's not, if you're working on one screen, that doesn't mean the other stuff is invisible. Now you can delete a screenshot, but understand that you're also deleting the 10-minute time slot that goes with that, so you won't get paid for it. Now, the automatic tracking is preferred, but everybody runs into problems. I've had it where I've forgotten to turn on the time tracker, and then 2 hours later, or you thought you clicked it, and you go on 2 hours later and realize that the button never registered. Or you may forget to turn it off. So you stopped work on this project, started work on something else, or left the screen, and it's been recording all that time. Or you may be working on the client project and you get an urgent email or text that you need to respond to. And poof, that's what the client sees because that's what's on the next screenshot. So what can you do? Well, you can review your logged time. And a lot of people recommend doing this daily. Um, you can review the screenshots that it took and the activity it recorded. And you can delete time blocks if needed, or add memos that match the task and explain the adjustments. So you want to use that review function. And it all goes in on the weekly cutoff. And so make sure you get it done before the cutoff. Now, if you forgot to turn on the time tracker, about the only thing you can do is add it manually. But remember that the client must approve that time. So you need to communicate to them why it is and understand it may not get paid. So you can do manual time. It's not recommended, um, but sometimes you need to. Um, so best practices, I recommend you use the time tracker. The alternative is just more difficult. A lot of people will post a sticky note near their screen to remind them to turn it on and off. When you're working on client work, make sure your other screens are all clean. There's no other work that's up, because that's what's going to show up. Um, and then, like I just said, review the work diary before the time submitted. Usually that's on a Sunday, and communicate with the clients regularly. So, in conclusion, use the app if you want to get paid, and review the work diary often. And check out our next video. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe. And if you need coaching, just contact us. We love to hear from you. And check out our blog on our website. That's rptvirtualservices.com. Have a great week.